Perfect.
Welcome back, everybody, to episode number 15 of the Bright Lights Podcast. I'm your host, Deegs, as always, joined by my two wonderful co-hosts, Mahoney.
What up, guys?
And PT.
How's everyone doing today?
How we doing today, boys? Good day?
Good day. This weather fucking sucks, though.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Snow needs to go.
we got a pretty big amount of snow coming in here in the Midwest, but that's not stopping us from getting this show out. We got fun things to talk about, a lot of interesting things to talk about. So, as usual, I don't want to waste our time or your time. We're going to start this off with our call-outs. PT, go ahead, buddy.
You know, in the past, our call-outs have kind of been in a negative light, but I kind of want to shine some light on the Illinois Fighting Illini basketball team. You know, their record is not showing too well so far. They're not 9-15, but they're young. They're real young. They got, I think they're starting 3 or 4 freshmen. Brad Underwood's finally starting to pull some big recruits in with that 2 big 5-star centers that are coming in next year. But they've actually had a really good. They've won 4 out of the last 5 coming into the tournament. They're going to be something that teams don't want to mess with and play against in the next couple coming up weeks. They beat Maryland, 13th ranked current when they were playing them, ranked 13. They beat Nebraska, Michigan State. That was huge for them. And Rutgers, even though that's not a huge win for them, they're my boy Georgie. He dropped 35. That was huge for him. Georgie, man, and his brother was in for their last 3 wins. His older brother this was his first time in the United States, and he was there at all 3 games, and they won all 3. So
welcome to the States.
Yeah, shout out to the Illinois Fighting Illini. They're looking better. They had a really tough schedule this year, and they're starting to pull together. Hopefully, this is a shining light in the right direction. So that's my call out for the weekend. Congrats to them.
Yeah, congrats to them. I'm gonna start it off. As you know, I'm a huge Blackhawks fan, and they're finally starting to do something with their lives. So, Stan Bowman, buddy, you made some very questionable decisions in the beginning of the year. Most importantly, firing Coach Q, which led to a terrible November where we only had 3 wins, which if we would have won 2 or 3 more games, we would no doubt be in the playoff push right now. And we are right now, but we would definitely be solidifying a playoff spot. With the trade deadline coming up in 13 days, there are rumors that the Blackhawks are going off some big names, and I don't know if you guys remember Perlini, the bread man.
Yep, Panarin.
Panarin. He's a big target for the trade deadline, and the Hawks are rumored to talk with him. And actually, you know what? At the beginning of this week, he was doing an interview, and an interviewer asked him about Chicago and what he thought about it. And it took him 10 seconds to respond because he didn't want to say the wrong thing. And he ignored the question completely and stuck with, "Oh, I love it here in Columbus." Breadman, we know that's bullshit. We know you want to come back to Chicago. Bowman, you fucked up with Q. Make up for it. Go get a big name in the trade deadline. Do what you said you were going to do in the beginning of the year and make this team that everybody thought was going to be mediocre and make the playoffs. That'll wipe everything away that you've done bad. So, Bowman, fucking do something, please.
See that would. I just want to make a quick comment on that too. I think Panarin, if they are able to go get him, that would be amazing. We saw what he was able to do with Kane, and their stint together when they were both coming up. The only issue I have, this little deep feeling in my gut, is that Saad came back after he came back to Chicago. Yep. He has not been himself, and that's what I have worry with Panarin. But, you know, I want to take that risk, and I would love to see Panarin back in a Blackhawks sweater.
So. All right, I will say this about Brandon Saad. When he came back, he was a douchebag. Nobody liked him. He thought who he was, and management even did something about it and benched him for 2 or 3 games, told him they need to figure his shit out or he's going to be gone. And I would say it took him another month or so to really figure it out, but especially last game, you could see how much he's changed since the beginning of the year. And I'm really liking Brandon Saad right now. He's showing heart, he's showing hustle, and he's becoming one of our biggest key players right now in this playoff push. And I really hope that he continues to do that because we need all hands on deck for this playoff push.
Exactly.
Diego, go ahead, buddy.
All right. So that's the first time you ever called me Diego since we've been friends.
Yep.
But my call out is I told myself I wouldn't talk about this today. I told you guys last week I wouldn't talk about this today. But my call out is every single motherfucker on Twitter that claims to have sources on Manny Machado and Bryce Harper and where they're going to sign. Okay, I don't care if there's a blue check mark next to your name. I don't care if you have 40 Twitter followers and you're out here playing Nostradamus and trying to tell me that where the hell Bryce Harper and Manny Machado are going to sign. You have no idea where Bryce Harper and Manny Machado are going to sign. Nobody but Bryce Harper. They have no idea where they're going to sign. So your sources are dog shit. They're probably like your mom predicting something, and you like. I'm so sick and tired of seeing random ass Twitter accounts with 110 followers saying Manny Machado had an offer from the Baltimore Orioles sources. Shut the fuck up. It's not true. You don't have sources, and you don't know where Manny Machado and Bryce Harper are going to sign because at this point they might not even fucking sign. Mm-hmm. Okay, and nobody knows where they're going. So sweet. Short call out for me. Everybody that says they have sources on Twitter is a dumbass and don't believe them.
Yeah. So I guess that does it for call-outs. We haven't done a little bit. That went pretty well. It's definitely going to be a recurring thing that continues to happen here at Bright Lights Podcast. The call-outs are back. Confirmed. They are back. I guess that goes to Deegs, buddy. Antonio Brown saying goodbye to Steeler Nation.
Yeah, man, I'm happy. Are you
actually, though?
I was talking about this with one of my other friends earlier today, like when it actually happened, when he said requested a trade. First of all, just a few things talking about the situation. One, Antonio Brown still has not had any contact with anybody in the Steelers front office. He has not talked to Mike Tomlin about this, and they were made aware of it by his Twitter account. Oh, so that's really professional to request a trade through Twitter. Second of all, again, if you read his tweet, he used hashtag new demands. You can't demand anything because you're under contract for 4 more years, and they can do whatever the fuck they want with you. So that's how that rolls. Again, if the Steelers don't want to trade him or they don't feel like there's an offer that they want to or that they view is of his value, they don't have to trade him. There's no obligation for them to trade him. They can keep him on the team and do whatever. But yeah, man, if he gets traded and they get – obviously you have to start looking at trade value for him. Amari Cooper got a first-round pick. Mm-hmm. If Amari Cooper got a first-round pick, Antonio Brown's going to get a first-round pick.
He's going to get a couple first-round picks.
He's a diva, but, again, he is probably the offensive equivalent of what Khalil Mack is, right? He's one of the best offensive players in football, if not the best. Yeah. So you're going to get a pretty good haul for him. And if they trade him to a team like Oakland or a team like the 49ers and they get that first-round pick this year, which is a top 5 pick, I'm going to be so happy. I'm going to be so happy because this guy, he turns 31 in July. Pittsburgh, the window's closed, right? They probably won't make the playoffs next year again. Big Ben, love the guy and hate him at the same time. He's getting older. He's not getting younger. It's time to start looking towards the future. You trade Antonio Brown, you open up some cap space to ensure that Juju never hits the free agent market and he retires as a Pittsburgh Steeler.
He will. Yeah.
Obviously, he takes over as your number one receiver, and then you just do what you've always done, right? Every 5 or so years, Pittsburgh somehow they figure out a way to draft a superstar wide receiver. Hines Ward. Santonio Holmes, Mike Wallace, and obviously they found Antonio Brown out of nowhere. Juju was a second-round pick, arguably a guy who could have gone top 10 in that draft with how he's produced. So, I mean, yeah, if you get younger, you improve the defensive side of the ball, you get a first-round pick this year and a future first-round pick. Use that future first-round pick, maybe next year's draft, to draft a quarterback for Big Ben's replacement. And you start getting younger, freeing up some cap space, building towards the future. Obviously, now it's gonna suck if he gets traded because it's Antonio Brown. He's really good, but you have to look at teams in your division. Baltimore is getting younger. The Browns are looking really, really good, especially after them signing Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Bengals are terrible, but still, like you have to look at the future always when you're a general manager, and trading away a guy who's making a shit ton of money that doesn't want to be there just makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, definitely.
It would have been the same thing with Le'Veon Bell. You pay him a shit ton of money, but he doesn't want to be there. There's no point. Just get rid of him.
Yeah, I have two things I want to talk about with this. First off, let's give a little way too early predictions on where Antonio Brown lands. I think he's going to Oakland. If I had to pick a team, he's going to Oakland.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think that they're going to trade him because I don't think any team is going to want to pony up the draft capital it's going to take to get him. But
if you think he's going to stay, say he's going to stay.
No, I think that they'll if they are to trade him, okay. If they're going to trade him, I think it will be to the 49ers because he wants to play there. Part of me feels like Pittsburgh wants to show some respect and at least trade him to where he wants to go. And if they can get that second overall pick for Antonio Brown and you get a guy like Josh Allen or Nick Bosa or Quinn Williams at 2, that's insane. That would be insane. So my gut feeling is the 49ers, which kind of sucks because Pittsburgh plays them this year. But I don't think that they're going to trade him, to be honest.
What do you think, PT?
Yeah, like we said, we haven't. I mean, we can go out here and predict anything in the world. Like we said, we have no idea what anyone's thinking. We saw the AD thing, the Pelicans. That's still up in the air what they want to do with him. They obviously asked for way too much, and they kind of fucked themselves over. Man, if you think about it, you think the obvious would be the 49ers. I think he'd want to go anywhere out on the West Coast out there. I could see 49ers or Raiders. I'd go with 49ers with my gut. But like you said, it's not up to him. It's up to Pittsburgh and what they want to do. I just hope that, even though he was a bitch to them and was an asshole, I hope they respect that he wants to be traded. There's no reason for him to be there anymore. It's obvious that they both needed to separate ways, and he just needs to get out of there. They both need a fresh start.
Yeah.
Yeah, and real quick. Like 5 days ago, he was interviewed, and he was quoted as saying he just wants to win, right? And I mean, you look at the teams that have been in the Antonio Brown sweepstakes. One, if you're going to trade for him, you have to have the cap space, right? So typically, teams that have a lot of cap space really aren't that good. So it would be really, really ironic to me if they traded him to – if he goes to Oakland, he's going to have a shitty year next year, absolutely shitty year next year. I understand it's Antonio Brown, but you have to understand that for his entire career, he's at a first ballot Hall of Famer throwing him the football, and then you're going to go from that to Derek Carr. Or if he goes to the Jets, you're going to go from that to Sam Darnold, who has a lot of promise but is still really raw. Or if he goes to even the 49ers, you have a guy who, one, hasn't proven himself yet, and two, is coming off an ACL injury at a position that it takes a lot of hits.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see how it pans out. But, yeah, I think they have to trade him. I don't know if they will, but there's no reason for him to be on Pittsburgh anymore. They have to get younger. They got to clear up that cap space for Juju and just see what happens. Call it a day.
And then another thing that I want to talk about with this, because it's been a recurring theme. It's been happening a lot. Somebody needs to figure out something with all these players requesting trades. I don't understand why it's so. I understand why it's common, but I don't understand why it's so blown up with all the big name players like Anthony Davis or Le'Veon Bell or Antonio Brown. Why are there so many all of a sudden? Like years ago, this would have never happened.
Yeah, you're right. Years ago, this didn't happen. LeBron, I think, was the one that kind of started getting the ball rolling. It's starting to build a so super team. He joined. When he kind of opened the floodgates when he joined Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. Now everyone's seeing, okay, he kind of did it. I think I need to join my own people to support. I need to support in cast too as well. So that's how I see it, and that's how I think that. Yeah, you're right. It didn't happen in the past, but now it's becoming more of a common thing for people thinking that. I mean, they have every right in their mind to be able to do it. It's just becoming more of a common thing now.
Yeah. I think there's actually a lot of things to factor into this. Obviously, the first one has to be is this generation of players. I feel like, you look like 30 years ago. Nobody's ever requesting trades. There's more of a loyalty in it when you play for a team and you sign a long-term contract that even if they're not good, you're gonna stick it out with them because they treated you well. They gave you financial security and everything, and there's just not it doesn't seem to be a lot of loyalty. Talking about that LeBron situation, yeah, he did start the whole super team thing, but that was more of a free agent signing. I do agree that probably did catapult the whole super team thing, obviously, but he didn't. LeBron's never requested a trade. He willingly signed an extension with the Cavaliers when they were god awful. When after his rookie, like in his second or third year, actually took that team to the finals in 2007 with probably the worst roster I've ever seen in my entire life. But yeah, to me, it's more of a sense of entitlement now that people really don't like when teams suck. They're kind of like done with it. Like they just want to get out and move on to a better team because of what LeBron did. But some of it has to be put on teams as well, right? And the failure to build championship caliber teams around superstar players. The Pelicans have had so many opportunities, so many first round picks. They've had multiple first round picks so many times to build a superstar, to build a good cast around Anthony Davis, and they haven't been able to do that. The Steelers have had the best offensive weapons in football year after year with Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, and haven't made the Super Bowl. There's just the Baltimore Orioles. They had so many chances, so many pitchers that they ruined when Manny Machado was there to build a superstar caliber team around him, and they didn't do it. So there's equal blame to go around. Players have to get blamed for not really being as loyal, and the teams have to get blamed for being incapable of building a quality team around their superstars.
Yep. Yeah, I definitely agree. Something just came up. Adam Schefter just tweeted something. PT, you want to take it?
Yeah, so Adam Schefter tweeted out that Jeffrey Simmons, if any of you don't know, he's projected a top 15 pick in the NFL draft toward his ACL. Left ACL over the weekend, training for doing football training. It's tough to see that kind of stuff happen. I believe it was Jalen Smith, correct, the linebacker from Notre Dame that now plays for the Cowboys.
Yep.
He had the same situation. He dropped very mightily in the draft, but he played this year and he looked like a monster.
He did.
So same thing with Sidney Jones, Philadelphia Eagles quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, our prayers go out from Bright Lights Podcast to Jeffrey Simmons, man. We wish you a full recovery back. And just hope that I think if I read this correctly, he's actually going to go back to Mississippi State next year, or he won't be playing next year. He looks like he'll be going back to school next year. But
interesting.
We'll see how that. It's just something you don't want to see. So
actually, that's interesting though. In that situation, would you go back to school or get drafted right now?
Well, I mean, if you can't play, you got to go right now. Because
exactly, yeah.
You talk about a guy who's, Jeffrey Simmons, if you don't know, a lot of off-the-field concerns with Jeffrey Simmons. He beat the absolute living shit out of his girlfriend, like really bad. But he's a really good football player. He's a really good football player. If this draft class wasn't super loaded with defensive linemen, probably would be a top 3, top 5 pick. Like he's really, really good, really physical, really aggressive player. So he's gonna fall. No one's gonna take a guy.
Yeah, I take that back. He is gonna be. He's still gonna be in the draft. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. God damn it. No one's gonna draft a guy with a torn ACL in the first round unless you have like superstar written all over you. But whoever gets this guy in second, third, maybe even fourth round.
It's a guy the Bears look at with the second round pick.
When he comes back, PT, you mentioned Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith was a top 3 lock before he destroyed.
The Bears were going to draft him. I remember it.
Yeah, he was a top 3 lock before that bowl game. Sidney Jones tore his Achilles, was the best cornerback in that draft class 2 years ago. Came back healthy the year after and helped the Eagles win a Super Bowl. So, whoever gets this guy is getting a really talented player. There's a lot of off-the-field concerns. But if he falls to the second or third round, some team's going to take a flyer on him. And when he can play, he's going to make a real big impact. He's a really, really good player.
Yeah, he is.
All right, sticking with football. Kareem Hunt announced yesterday that he will be signing with the Browns. Very disappointed in my Bears for not really pushing. I know PT. I can't really tell what you're feeling with this.
No, yeah, we were talking about this yesterday.
Yeah.
My Bears were talked about pursuing him, but this is a thing where this is a win-win situation. You get him, your team's going to be automatically better. You don't get him, you're not affected at all. So that's how I kind of looked at it. It sucks that we did not get a star running back in Kareem Hunt, but at the end of the day, we still have Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen. That's
for now.
Yeah. But like I said, that I'm not too concerned or hurt or going to cry about it, but good for the Browns. They definitely got a good running back in that.
Yeah, I think that solidifies that they are definitely threatening your division next year, Deegs.
Yeah, dude, I mean, I saw that, Kareem Hunt to the Browns, and first thing you have to preface, one, he's still on the commissioner exempt list, so he can't play right away. Two, there is going to be a suspension, probably 6 games.
6 games.
I would be really surprised if it was anything less than 6 games or if they went up to 8, but he signed a 1-year deal, about $1 million. None of it is guaranteed. So if he doesn't play, or if he doesn't get off the exempt list, they can just cut him and not lose any money.
Smart deal.
Yeah, so it's a low risk, high reward deal for the Browns, especially because they already have Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb, a really good running back. That's why it doesn't really make sense to me in that perspective, because Nick Chubb had a really good year last year.
Had a great year.
You're just taking away from your star running back or your potential star running back and your running back of the future, taking away reps from him for a guy that is going to leave your team probably after 1 year. Kareem Hunt is not the kind of guy that's going to want to stay in a timeshare, which is what it should be next year in Cleveland. He should get they should split reps. Kareem Hunt is a workhorse back, so kind of a puzzling move. I think there was other teams that were better fits, other teams that could have offered him a better deal for him, at least with more financial security, but nonetheless, if it pans out, Cleveland's going to be real good with Baker, Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, Jarvis Landry, a bunch of other guys in that offensive line that are really good, and obviously their defense is tremendous, so it'll be interesting to see how the Browns are next year.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. Breaking news yesterday kind of angered me a little bit, kind of didn't. Don't really know how to feel about it. I'm kind of upset about it. Kyler Murray, buddy, saying just big ol' F you to the A's. There's a big ol' Billy Bean. Shove your bean up your ass, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know. It's definitely not what I thought he was going to do. But I don't blame him. He wants to play football, and the kid wants to play football. I mean, you can't take that away from him. It's his decision no matter what. So, best of luck to him in football, but what do you guys have to say about it?
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. You can't blame a kid for following what he loves. You can't take that away from a rising star. It's going to be interesting to see how he does in the next couple months, and then how that draft goes. He's already hired an agent. All these stories are starting to fly out the window now. It's getting interesting. I'll be looking forward to see how he does, because he definitely is. I think he's a phenomenal athlete, and I personally, the more I look into it, I think he possibly could make it in the NFL, and he could be a great quarterback. It's going to be interesting. I'm excited to see how it goes, but like I said, you can't fault a kid doing something he loves. So good for him. Congrats, and I'll be looking forward to seeing what he does.
Yeah.
I mean, Kyler Murray, his calling card in the NFL is going to be his athleticism, right? He's a good passer. He's not a great passer. He's a really good athlete, though, and I think we'll see that at the combine when he runs the 40-yard dash, when he does his cone drills and everything. He's a really good athlete. There are a lot of concerns for me in his game. Obviously, one, you put in the Big 12. Big 12 not really known for their defense, and I think there is a little bit of inflation in his numbers. Typically, quarterbacks that come out of the Big 12 aren't as successful as per se Baker was last year. They do tend to struggle. I think for him it matters a lot if he's going to be successful what team he goes to. If he can sit behind a quarterback for a year like an Eli Manning per se, that would benefit him a lot. If he goes to Jacksonville or to Miami where he has, Jacksonville, Miami, maybe even Denver, where he has to, or Washington, where he has to start right away. Probably not going to go too well for him. Obviously, the size concern is a big deal. He's listed at 5'10", but he's not 5'10". He's probably more of a
5'9", 5'8".
5'8.5", 5'9" kind of guy, which is really, really small. We've seen quarterbacks hover around 5'11", 6 foot, be successful, but we've never really seen a guy that short be successful in the NFL. I watch his tape. He looks at his first read, and then if that read's not open, he looks to run right away, and that's not going to work in the NFL, obviously, with better experienced defenses and better players. So there's a lot to work on from an actual quarterback standpoint, but one, you can't deny that he's a fantastic athlete. He moves really well. He's really fast, and that's going to be his calling card all day. He might be faster than Lamar Jackson, which is insane.
That is insane.
And two, again, whoever is faulting him and being mad at him for picking football over baseball, go fuck yourself. Like, honestly, go fuck yourself. He's doing what he wants. He's going to invest more time and have more passion in getting better if he's doing what he wants instead of going with the money and playing a sport that he doesn't truly love as much as he loves football. So fuck off. It's his decision on where he wants to go, what he wants to play, and good for him, man.
Yep.
Hopefully he pans out. I don't think he's the best quarterback in his class. I don't think he's going to succeed as much as the hype is around him at the NFL, but we'll see how it goes, and yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much does it for football, and now into a little college basketball talk from Deegs.
Yeah, man, college basketball. As we get closer to March, some pretty good games come down.
It's madness, baby. It's madness.
Yesterday, we had a pretty good matchup, top 10 matchup, Virginia, North Carolina. Virginia did win that game, but it was a really good game. Tonight, Kentucky, LSU at Rupp, two top 20 teams ranked, fighting for second place in the SEC right now. That's a pretty solid game. A couple Big 10 matchups, Purdue and Maryland, both teams ranked top 25. Michigan State and Wisconsin, that's a big game right there. Whoever wins that game inches closer to Michigan in the Big 10.
Shout out Ethan Happ. He's from my hometown. Shout out Ethan Happ.
Oh, shout out.
The big ACC matchup today, Duke at Louisville.
Yep.
Louisville, really good team, but obviously we understand how good Duke is. And the best game of this week, and I'm not just saying this because my team is playing in it, but number 1 Tennessee at number 5 Kentucky. Whoever wins this game, in my opinion, essentially, because they're probably going to split half and half, whoever wins this game probably comes out winning the SEC title. So we'll see what happens there. Tennessee is one game ahead of Kentucky. They're 10-0 in conference play. UK is 9-1. But a big time matchup there. Obviously, anytime the number 1 team plays a team, it's in the top 5. It's something you really want to watch. You want to make sure you're watching that game. So the madness is coming. College basketball, always really fun to watch. And yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, I think it's just a little far away, March Madness, but I think we'll do a bracket with.
Oh hell yeah, we're doing a bracket. What kind of question is that?
We'll do mine, and
18.
And we'll put a little bet on it like we've done with in the past. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I watch college basketball every night. It's awesome. Any team that's on, I love it. It's always fun to watch. And I think if you guys don't watch, if anyone out there doesn't watch college basketball, it's starting to get really heated up now, and teams are starting to play for their championships.
Yeah, and I just want to put a little note in there. I don't know if we really have too much NBA to talk about, but same with basketball. The NBA is going to be really fun to watch in the next 3-4 years. Like, it's going to be really fun to watch because they know what they're doing with everything.
Yeah, once the Warriors dynasty is over, it'll be real fun. It could even be.
But why the air quotes on dynasty? They are a dynasty.
No, dude, fuck the super teams. It's not a fucking dynasty. Okay, if they're a dynasty, then the Heat are a dynasty too, and the Heat are not a dynasty. So, their dynasty, air quotes, could potentially end this offseason if Kevin Durant chooses to go somewhere else.
He's going to New York, the Knicks.
Clay Thompson leaves. So, I mean, it should be fun to watch. We'll see what happens. But there's a lot of good young talent coming into the NBA. Potentially in this draft, the next real superstar coming in is Zion Williamson, depending on how you feel about him. So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So that pretty much does it for that. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but I've been smiling over here, kind of a little jittery, getting pumped up for talking a little hockey here. I just got to say something. The Blackhawks are fucking back.
They're back, baby.
So let's see. Where do I start? I got a bunch of notes here just ready to go. All right, so first off, the Hawks extended Delia, our goaltender, 3 years. I'm really fucking pumped about that because that means that next year we're going to have Corey Crawford and Delia. We're not going to have to worry about Sam Ward. Crawford actually started practicing with the team the last couple weeks, and there's actually reports that came out yesterday that sooner or later he's going to be back in the goal. It's going to be interesting to see what Corey Crawford we get. We're either going to get the prime-time big boy Corey Crawford or we're going to get the Corey Crawford of the beginning of this season, which wasn't too good. Either way, great signing, extending Delia. I'm really pumped to see what this kid can do for the next couple of years. He's young. He's been taught by Corey Crawford, one of the best goaltenders in Blackhawks history.
Yep.
Now, this is an interesting fact that I saw today that I don't think you guys know. The NHL's leading scorers since January 20th. Kane, Taves, DeBrincat, Strome. All top 4 are Blackhawks players. The hottest team in hockey, baby.
Dude, Kane is playing out of his fucking mind. He is slapping his cock out on the ice and getting ice burn all over his big white.
All right, but sticking with Kane having one of his best seasons, this guy's season is kind of under the radar right now. But Jonathan Taves is having one of the best seasons of his career as well. Last year wasn't too good of a season for Taves. I mean, it was a great season for any other NHL player, but from his past history, it was a down year for him. He came into camp this year with some question marks. People were saying he was starting to age. He wasn't the captain that he used to be. Well, he just said, fuck you, and him and Kane are just, oh my God.
Dude, they've hit like a second win.
They're 7 consecutive wins, going for 8 tonight against the Bruins.
One game away from 500.
Yep, 1 game away from 500. I don't know if PT, I think you do. I don't know, Deegs, if you do. If you guys know how the standings work in hockey with points. Yep. We are 4 points behind a playoff spot right now, which in terms is 2 wins. We need them bad. We need them really, really bad. Tonight against the Bruins as well. The Bruins are a really good team. And breaking news came out a couple hours ago. One of their best players, their right wing, Pasternak. Pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. At 11:30 last night, walking to his car, slipped on ice in Boston, broke his thumb, out for 2 weeks. And that is fucking ginormous for the Blackhawks.
Ice those sidewalks.
Yeah, they got it, yeah.
Boston.
And you know what, dude? He's one of their best players. To have him down in the lineup is fucking huge. We're going for 8 tonight. We're going for the cup. I don't think we're going to get there. You know what? Fuck yeah, we're going to get there. We're getting to the cup.
Let's go.
He's flailing his arms around.
I'm pumped, dude. You know what? The Blackhawks all season, you guys have heard me complain, not really be too happy. I remember I was actually listening to our podcast from a couple weeks ago, episode 9. Go listen to it, everybody.
Shout out episode 9.
And I said that it was time to trade Crawford, Seabrook, Keith. Don't go into the full rebuild, but start getting some prospects. Yeah, fuck me, dude. Don't listen to me. We need to keep those guys, keep them going. We're going for it. Hawks actually do have a decent amount of money to spend, so our goal right now this year is to make the playoffs. If we win, great. If we don't, at least we made the playoffs. Next year is the year when we're going to get some free agents. And I'm just fucking pumped about the Blackhawks, man. The Hawks are back after a little year and a half skid. They're back. They are fucking back. You got any hockey talk for us, Deegs?
Anything going on in San Diego? No?
San Diego Goals, baby. That's their fucking minor league team or something.
There you go.
But no, man.
Oh, you know what? Actually, before we go into baseball, San Diego Fleet, baby, talk to us. Talk to us.
Didn't get the dub. Hold
up. I was a little confused. Can you, before you go into your Fleet, can you explain that for all the people out there that don't understand what's going on with this new whole organization? Because I read something, some Bears fan page tweeted out that, it's kind of like a feeder pro. What?
Yeah. So basically, what the AAF is.
Wait, is it like the independent league in baseball?
No, the independent league in baseball is fucking stupid.
All right, go ahead. Sorry, I made that comment.
It's kind of like it's not really, but it's kind of like a minor league system for football. So, let's say I'll give you a really good example. Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow would have been a perfect fit for the AAF because he was a really good college player. They just needed extra reps to come in and play. It's basically for guys that were it's basically for players that either failed in the NFL and are trying to get back, or guys who just need extra practice, extra reps, and are trying to make an NFL roster. Trent Richardson is on it. He
also just got fined today. I just saw that came out.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't know for what, but he got fined.
He's on the AF team. DeMontre Moore, he was an All-American at Texas A&M. He plays for the Fleet. There's a lot of old NFL players. Ron Brooks was a third-round pick of the Buffalo Bills a few years ago. A bunch of talented guys who just are trying to fight their way back onto an NFL roster. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. They're not trying to compete with the NFL. They're trying to act as like a partner for the NFL, which is why I think they'll be successful, because you have other leagues like the XFL, or a long time ago the AFL, the American Football League. They were trying to compete with the NFL.
Well, the XFL is coming back, so they're going to be competing again.
Nobody's ever going to overtake the NFL. No one's ever going to compete with the NFL. The NFL will always be the supreme league for football.
Well, yeah, of course.
So there's...
If you act as a developmental league and you get support from the NFL, like some of the AF games are on NFL Network. They are on TNT, which is an NFL sponsor, CBS too. And you act as a developmental league for where players can come in and get extra reps and perfect their game, perfect their craft, to then go on to play in the NFL. That's really beneficial. So that's what it is. The Fleet, came up a little bit short, 15-6, lost to a really good San Antonio team, but we'll see how it goes, man. Should be fun. It's more football too.
I didn't watch last weekend, but there was a lot of hype around it, and you bet your ass I'm going to be watching this week.
There was, I think, 2.2 million people that watched the Fleet game.
Good for them.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Awesome,
that's more than the national basketball game that was on that night, which is I think 2 million.
Huh.
So, I mean, take that for what you want. But people want to watch football, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So going from football to baseball, MLB, they just added these patches to all the uniforms. In my opinion, they look kind of fucking stupid, but you know what? They're celebrating 150 years. Put whatever the fuck you want on there. Put a donkey on there saying 150.
It was pretty dope.
I didn't like them.
It's nothing huge. It's something small. But I kind of saw. I had no idea they were even close to 150.
Yeah, dude, 150.
I was like, holy shit,
number,
150.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
That's long as fuck.
Good for them though.
Yeah, good. MLB, good for you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. I'm pumped, dude. Baseball's right around the corner. Some pitchers and catchers reported today. Some pitchers and catchers report tomorrow. I'm fucking jacked. I mean, baseball's back.
Hey, Jack, you're fucking jacked.
Fuck yeah, dude. I mean, baseball's back. I'm pumped. Machado and Harper still aren't signed. Moustakas, Keuchel, Kimbrel. Gotta love it, dude.
You could field a team of guys that still aren't signed, and they could probably make the playoffs.
No, I think so. Yeah, they just did a count. There's over 125 free agents still.
Arwin, Kimbrel, Gio, Keuchel.
I forgot about Gio.
Clay Buckles is still unsigned.
All right, fuck Clay Buckles, dude. He's a dude.
Hey, he had like a 2.41 last year.
Oh, whatever.
Obviously, Harper and Machado, and just probably Jake Diekman still unsigned. So you got a lot of guys that are quality players. Fuck Major League Baseball in their off season. I don't even want to talk about that shitty sport until somebody fucking signed. So, yeah, man, it's it's right around the corner. Spring training is going to be here soon, and two of the best players in the league still won't be signed.
All right, here we go. Here's an interesting tweet that I saw today.
I saw that.
It's pretty funny, actually. Players that signed before Bryce Harper and Manny Machado.
Yeah, I saw it too.
Gordon Beckham, Brett Lowry, Avisail Garcia, Matt Davidson, Jake Petrarca, Jenmar Gomez, Hector Santiago, and Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt.
And you know what, dude? It's so sad because Brett Lowry hasn't played in 2 years.
Yeah.
And he signed. Whatever. Fuck it. What else was there to talk about? And Cubs. As we were recording, Cubs just came out today. As we were recording, like 20 minutes ago. Addison Russell. They said that he has to play at like an all-star level to be able to stay on this team.
Dude, that's he shouldn't be on the team. I don't care. The more interesting thing that came from the Cubs is they're still looking to add. Did you see this? Epstein was talking about how they're looking to add a reliever before the season starts.
They need to.
I don't know why this came into my mind, and I really hope it doesn't happen. But in some world, I could 100% see the Cubs getting Craig Kimbrell.
Really?
I don't know why, dude. I could see them trading away some contracts. He's not going to cost $300 million like Harper would, so the cap space wouldn't be that necessary. But, oh, my God, if they got Craig Kimbrell, I would probably kill myself.
Yeah, again, I don't hate the Cubs as much as you do. I don't know. I'm not going to lie, though. I think Kimbrell would look pretty dope in a Cubs uniform.
Stop.
I'm just saying.
Dude, they would go back to the World Series. Like, you don't understand. They would go back to the World Series.
I wouldn't go that far.
No, they won 96 games last year without Quintana, and a shitty-ass bullpen.
Oh,
they
fuck, you're right. Yeah,
they would go back to the World Series.
Yeah, so that pretty much wraps it up. We're going to talk – well, Mahoney's going to talk about what's next for us with baseball. As you all know, baseball's around the corner. I know me, Deegs, and PT love talking baseball, and it's one of our favorite things. We love playing baseball, talking baseball, watching baseball, listening to baseball, living baseball, maybe even, whacking it a little bit to baseball. You never know. But anyways.
Dude, Jesus.
But anyways, next for us with baseball, with spring training coming, we're going to do a division by division breakdown in baseball. I'm pretty pumped about it. I know we talked about it before a long time ago, but I'm pumped for it. It's going to be fun. We'll go in depth on each team. We'll give predictions, records, break out players, teams to watch out for, players to watch out for. It's gonna be fun, but these cocksuckers, Machado and Harper, they gotta make a decision so we can do this shit. Cause
we can't really do that until they both sign.
Yeah. So yeah, and I mean,
we could do it with like.
Fuck me, dude. A thing just came out of Machado. He was wearing White Sox batting gloves during batting practice.
Did you see that someone also posted a picture that someone tagged him in a baby shoes with White Sox all over, like the logo on them, and they tagged him in it.
Yeah.
It's so bad, dude.
Fuck.
Dude, hey, we could do like the AL West breakdown because like nobody from that division has signed Machado or Harper.
Yeah, but then we gotta remember about like Keuchel. Like he might go out there.
We're gonna end up doing this with like 4 days before the season starts. That's how it's gonna end up being.
And we're gonna be doing podcasts every day.
Yeah, just grinding to get this out. Well, yeah, man.
We grind for you guys.
We grind for you guys.
We have a lot of things up our sleeves, I hope, coming up in these next few podcasts. So it'll definitely be some fun stuff to look out for. And we appreciate the 18 that always listen to us. Kind of a running joke between each podcast. But for real, all the reviews we get, we've gotten pretty decent amount since the last time we tried to get some really badly because we wanted just to feel good about ourselves.
Yeah. But you guys followed through and even more than what we expected. So thank you guys.
Yeah, man. But I think that's all we got today, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So make sure you follow us on Twitter.
Just
Instagram.
posted a podcast today. Go ahead and listen to that.
always, you got to get up and get excited, baby.
Get up and get excited.
Facebook, YouTube. We're probably on MySpace. I don't know.
Fuck it.
I think we are.
LinkedIn, maybe. I don't know.
We're fucking everywhere.
We're on Tinder.
Tinder. Yeah, we're on Tinder.
We have a Brothers Podcast Tinder page. We're everywhere.
So swipe right.
So, yeah, thanks for listening, and have a good one.
Adios, guys.
Have a good night.
Perfect.